Hello friends, welcome back to Java coding sessions. So today we are going to write a Java program to print count of vowels in string in a Java. So in this tutorial we will be writing a Java program that counts the number of vowels in a given string. So we will be understanding how to process the strings and manipulate the characters. That is basically the fundamentals of Java programming, and this simple coding exercise help us in gaining familiarity with string iteration, character comparison, conditional checks. So by the end of this tutorial, you will have a clear understanding of how to approach counting vowels and also how to efficiently use loops and conditionals in Java. So in this concepts, we will be covering the loop part, the conditionals, and the data types. So let's move ahead and let's write a simple Java program. So the very first step, so we will be creating a scanner object. To take input from the user. So in this, we will be giving scanner, new scanner. We'll be creating one object here. So let us import this scanner here. Okay. Now we'll ask the user, we will be going to ask the user to enter a string. So I'm just commenting the code. Ask the user to enter a string. System.out.println, enter a string to count the vowels. Okay. Now we need to read the input string. So string input string equals scanner dot next line. Now we will call the method to count vowels. So we will be implementing one method named as count vowels. So for now, I'm just calling it here. So int vowel count equals count vowels. In this, we can give input string and this will display the result. So the number of vowels in the string is the number of vowels in the string is, and you can mention here vowel count. So now we will implement a method which we have, called here. So just will give public static int and this count vowels with a string parameter here. So let us for now add the return statement. We return it once we implement it. So let me comment this. This is a method to count vowels in a given string. So here we will initialize a counter variable to track the number of vowels. So what we will do, we just give here in count equals 0. Now next what we will do, we will be converting the input string. We will convert the input string to lowercase to make comparison case insensitive. So we can give here string dot to lowercase. Now we will do a loop here. So a loop through each character in the string. So loop through each character in the string. So just create one for loop here. Int I is equal to 0. I is less than string dot length y plus plus. And now we can mention here, get the current character here, char c equals string dot char at I. So here what's happening, we get the current character. Fine. Now we will check if the character is a vowel. So what are vowels? A, E, I, O, U. So check if the character is a vowel. That is A, E, I, O, U. And we can mention here the if condition. So if C equals A, or C just in A, E, I, O, U. Then we can give here. So this char C we already declared here. So let's do one thing, team. Just a minute. So if C equals A, okay, or E or I or O or U, and we will get count plus plus. Now we will return the count of vowels. Seems to be fine. Run as Java application here. Let's proceed. Okay, so facing one exception here. Okay. Put this out of the loop. Now let's run it and see if this is running fine. Okay, so asking me to enter a string to count the vowel. For example, I give the string as A, B, B, C, C, E, E, O, H, H, J, J, U, U. So the number of vowels in the string you can see is 8. So you could see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. So this seems to be fine. Now let me quickly explain this code. So very first thing, if you'd see, like I've imported the scanner for using the input, if you could see in the very first line, and just moving it. So basically we can use the scanner class to get the input from the user. This allows us to dynamically read and any string they provide, making our program more interactive. Now when we come inside the main method, so we could see a few lines here. So the main method is where our program starts executing. So it will be printing a prompt asking the user for a string input, and the string input is captured and stored in a variable that is basically input string using the next line method of the scanner. Then the count vowels method is called with the input, and finally we just now output the count of vowels to the console. So this is basically printing that. Now entering the count vowels implementation here. So we just implemented the logic here. This method performs the actual work of counting the vowels in the string. So this string dot to lowercase, we use the to lowercase method to convert the entire string to the lowercase. This makes our vowel comparison case insensitive, so we don't have to check for like uppercase A and lowercase a separately. And in this case, we are iterating over the string. The for loop basically here is iterating over each character of the string. We use string.char at I, this method, to get the character at the correct index I. And now we see this if condition here. If C is equal to A, E, I, O, U, we get the con plus plus. And we check if the current character is one of the vowels, that is A, E, I, O, U. If it is, we increment the count variable. And then finally, we are just returning the count. So after processing all the characters in the string, the method returns the total count of vowels found. And then just we ran it and we gave some string, for example, AA, EE, JJ, KK, OO. And we could see here, as we could see, 3 times A appears, 2 times E appears, and 2 times O appears. So the total number of vowels in the string is 7. So by following this approach, we can be able to count the number of vowels. So I hope this session helped you understand the steps involved in solving this problem and how to implement it in Java. Remember, programming is about solving problems, and every small project you complete sharpens your skills. Thank you all. Thanks everyone.